is California Senator Alex Padilla, who sits on the Judiciary Committee. Senator, thank you. So, Senator, there's a humanitarian crisis at the border. There are also millions of people who have been here, many for years, decades, with U.S.-born children that have been participating and contributing to our economy and to our country. That's not what's being talked about. What's being talked about today is this border bill. How do you fix this, Senator?
Right. No, look, Jose, good to be back with you. And if my frustration comes across, I'm not sorry, because here we go again, taking up a measure that failed just a few months ago. I was opposed to the border package that's in front of us, a combination of flawed policies included in this bill, policies that have been tried and proven to fail. Also concerned about what's not in the bill. We can get tough on the border all we want, but for the first time that I can recall, Democrats supporting a tough on the border position without fighting for relief for dreamers, for farm workers, for other long-term undocumented residents of the United States. This cannot be the new starting position for negotiations when it comes to border safety and immigration, certainly not for Democrats. And I think the biggest frustration is not solving the problem. If the goal here, the concern here is that there are too many people coming to the southern border of the United States seeking asylum, let's find out why they're coming, where they're coming from, what are the root causes driving these numbers, and address them. That's not in the measure before us. And finally, Jose, the only big difference that I can see from the last time we voted is down, and today is the last time it was before us, it was tied to urgently critical needed funding for Ukraine, right? The foreign aid package. And this was seen as a concession for that foreign aid. That's no longer the case. The foreign aid package got done, but this border package that was negotiated months and months ago is back before us, and obviously I'm a no.
Senator, another issue, the New York Times has another story about flags being flown at the home of Supreme Court Justice Alito. This time it was a flag featuring a symbol carried out by some January 6 rioters. It was flown outside his beach house in New Jersey. Alito has not responded to the Times' request for comment, and the Supreme Court did not respond. Do you have a response?
No, absolutely. I mean, this is, number one, not the first incident, but the second recent incident with Justice Alito. Given this, he should recuse himself from any Trump-related cases, any cases related to the 2020 election, and certainly the January 6th insurrection. It's a reason why the Democratic members of the Judiciary Committee continue to push for not just a code of conduct or a code of ethics for Supreme Court justices, but an enforceable one. We need a body that can help enforce when these types of violations and conflicts of interest are identified.
Senator, real quick, just what is a priority of yours that you see, you talk about frustration as we began our chat, that continues to frustrate you?
Well, coming back to the border and immigration issue, here's an important fact, Jose. Currently, the numbers of people approaching the southern border are down. They are significantly down in the last couple of months without an executive order from the White House, without Congress having passed the bill. They're down because the United States has engaged its partner, the leaders of Mexico, to work together to address the migration flow. That's exactly what we need to be doing. Not just engaging Mexico, but the leaders in Central America and South America, because this is a hemispheric challenge which requires a hemispheric solution and plan. And so for the negotiators, for people in the White House, let's look at that and build on that.
Senator, I always say this, representation matters, and I think it'd be fundamental, critical, never more important, that your voice is listened to, taken into consideration when anything and everything that has to do with this be. And I urge folks to continue to listen to Senator Padilla. Thank you, sir, for being with us.
Thank you, Jose. Hasta pronto.
Igual.